best ways is like getting involved with the community, because whenever you go to any of the user groups that are here locally, you get anywhere from like 10 to 50 people who are just incredibly passionate about something. Even if you don't know anything, a lot of the people there would love to talk to you about it or share with you on it or teach you. So there's a lot of stuff that's available here in Columbus. And if you're curious or to try and find like a specific area, I'd be happy to answer any questions if people want to know a specific user group. I would recommend that.
I would start off, a lot of times I try to have my yearly review conversation in my head about a year in advance, and it's always about how awesome I am. and you should do the same thing. You should all write awesome things about how fantastic you were, but you should plan to do that a year in advance and then do all of those awesome things. And that's, I think, what we're talking about. You don't have to be any particular brand of awesome, and that's about finding your passion. So whatever you want to talk about in your review, if it's going to make an impact, do that. So you're planning with the end in mind, and then I'd actually written down some ideas on how to attend a conference, but it's really the same way to attack your passions. Stretch. One of the things I do at a conference is I sit down with people to eat that I don't know every time. It's incredibly uncomfortable, and I never do it any other time of year. But I try and stretch myself at these conferences, and I try and plan some so that I hit 1 or 2 sessions of stuff that is just completely off the wall. I would never go to any other place, but there's an opportunity here. Most of the time, I try to plan for where I want my team to be in the next year or few years, and then some other stuff maybe to follow on. So I'm planning kind of what I'm going to be, and then I spend a lot of time listening to what those people have to say, what the people at the dinner table who I'm uncomfortable with have to say, and even coming back to these conferences. And I think that all wraps up. So if you want to have, when I went to Code Mash, one of the things I thought about was how I was going to talk about Code Mash at my review. That was going to be a part of me being awesome for that. And that was a passion, that's a passion that I have. It didn't have to be something that I was directed to. I didn't say, John, make sure you're completely familiar with .NET 4.5, and when the community release for the next release comes out, make sure you're completely on top of that and get all your certifications. That's what you need to do. I was able to plan my awesome review myself, knowing what they see as awesome.
I would say if you really want to get engaged, whatever your interests are, put yourself out there. Find like-minded people. Once you find out that there are other people that are interested in the same things you're interested in, you don't feel like you're all isolated by yourself. First time I went to Code Mash in 2008, I checked out open spaces. Second year, I tried to organize one of the sessions. You're called a convener. And last minute, the room got reassigned, and I was in the wrong spot for my own open space. Nobody showed up except my one friend, and we're like, well, dude, we're already friends. We know what you're going to say, so let's just go somewhere else. The year after that, and the year after that, I started to get some traction, and I started to just put myself out there, put some topics out there that maybe people were interested in. This last year was probably the best experience I've had in that area. I did 3 open spaces, proposed topics, and each time I met some really neat people. The first one was solving something like change the world through code, relevant applications for third world problems. I thought that was a really good hook, and some people came out, and we talked about what I wanted to talk about for like the first 5 minutes, and then everybody else said, well, what about this, what about that? And I found out some things that were not at all related to my topic, but they were absolutely fantastically interesting. And I did one on SharePoint where information goes to die, So I was really, really clever with the titles, you know, and people were like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, it's not really like that. But, and then the last one was life hacks, and life hacks is kind of an interesting topic. But I ended up meeting a guy, became quick friends with him, and I'm going to see him again at Stir Trek. He's from Indiana, and you know, you just meet some fantastic people. But all those little investments that you make, they may seem like hobbies right now. They will pay off in the long run. For instance, some of the JavaScript learning that I did starting back in '06 had nothing to do with jQuery or anything. I was frustrated with printing out web pages, and you do the preview, and half your page is taken up with that left nav. You know what I mean? Like, who cares about their links and what else is on the page? I want to see the content. So what did I do? I started writing this little JavaScript tool to like turn off divs and hide tables, all that kind of stuff. And now at my most recent client, what did I do? I ended up writing a jQuery plugin for them that's a part of their core product, and all these little lessons that I picked up along the way, just kind of whimsical things, all of a sudden it's paying off. So if you find something interesting, focus on it. Find other people that are interested in it, and eventually it will pay off, and you'll be like, wow, I never expected that.
Okay. With this, I would want, if any of you have any questions in mind, please feel free to ask to our panel of presenters, and if you think that anything you have missed on Code Mash, you want to be there next year, what you need to do, what you could, I can come up with this.
What do we need to do to get there? How do we get there?
Something I would recommend. Start. So you guys here, I know I'm a guest, but are you guys here are part of the Java SIG? Is that correct?
Yeah, they're part of SIG, and then we have people
Present.
from Clutch.
Present at the SIG here. Talk to the people who facilitate this, and get them to invite people who are important to your work. Tell your CSM you're doing this, and get ready to present a topic at Code Match, which may mean going to, and I don't know all the different groups that are around Columbus. I know some of the .NET ones. There's an ALM, there's Condig. There's a few other friendly groups like this that you can present at. Do it. One of the most interesting things as an audience member, I think you guys will agree, is not white paper, here's the theory on how this stuff works, but here's how I implemented continuous integration at my client and all the problems and the times I got yelled at for doing it, right? You guys all have that. You guys are all at clients, and the stuff you do is interesting. It is important, and people want to know about it. Present here, present around Columbus, make sure your CSMs, your management knows about it, and present an abstract to Code Match. Can't guarantee you'll go, but that will put you in the upper percentile of people who have a chance. I know that for sure.
To add to this, try to, if you have multiple topics, much better, much good chance of getting selected for the presentation. Because a lot of times it may happen that topic we may think is unique to us, but somebody may already be presenting at that particular point. So as many topics as we can bring it together and submit it, I think that will make our chances of getting selected.
I've never presented a Code Match, but I have been rejected 5 times.
So is that what you do? You submit what your topic is, and
I worked with Matt Williams, putting the title and the abstract together on some topics that I knew about. It was all stuff that I was familiar with because it's what I did. Some of it was continuous integration, some of it was some leadership kinds of things. And he took a look at it. I think my CSM took a look at it, and then I just submitted it. Codebash.org. I'll tell you about all the stuff that's out there. We'll probably start taking presentations August or September.
If you follow them on Twitter, they post it out. There's also a Google group that you can get on that they're very good about shoutcasting out what's coming up in terms of deadlines or openings.
you can subscribe to them. They will send you email notifications and keep you up to date when the submission starts and when the event. So, and what they're expecting in the submission. So I think that.
If there's an area that you're interested in, go out to CodeMash and look at the sessions that were presented on that the last time around. Not only how the abstracts are written and the topics that they're covering, also look and see who did the presentation. Find out what their Twitter account is. See what they're talking about in their daily work. You know, research the community that's around that topic. Find out if they're going to be talking before CodeMash, right? Kind of get plugged in to the people that are actually doing the talking and figure out how they do it.
So, in short, be interested, be passionate.
Yep.
With that cool tip, I want to thank you all for being here. I've got some awesome advisors and some really pinning words from Gabby today. It will keep ringing in my head that Java is the new COBOL for some time. I can't get the light of mine. Thank you all for being here. Thank you everybody for attending the SIG, and hope to see you next month with a new presenter. I hope I will get many entries this time, now that we have heard so many words of encouragement for presenting at a Java SIG and presenting at CodeMash. I hope to see you guys next month. We'll plan and let you know. Thanks.